Hello and welcome to Move with Soul. This is the podcast where we talk about how connecting with your body is the best way to travel with your power to make embodied, authentic decisions and just live the way that you deserve to live. In this episode, we're going to chat about what is, in my opinion, the number one thing that you can do for your health, emotional, physical, and mental well being, energetic well being, and just like the best thing you can do to increase or improve your quality of life, and that is going for a walk outside. Now, whether you already go out for your daily walks in the woods or you love spending time in nature or that's something that you want to do more of, we're going to go over some of the practical reasons of how that is benefiting you or might be benefiting you, along with some of the energetic reasons that will help you just tap into the most power possible of your time in different ways or embodiment practices that you can do right away on your walks to enhance your experience. And for a little bit of personal experience or context, credibility, if you will. So 4-ish years ago, more or less, I moved back to Illinois, just outside Chicago. And previously, I was living in places where I just without trying, spent a lot of time outside because they were very nature focused and warm, sunny, beachy. Moving back to the Midwest, more of a city vibe, I just kind of accepted, like, okay, this is where I live now. I'm going to do these city things. And I spent for the first, I would say, maybe 8 or so months just living my life, going back and forth to work, doing my thing, spending time inside, doing city things. And I got super down, like feeling very lethargic, icky. I was working out in the gym. I was actually working at a gym at the time, practicing lots of yoga, doing those things, but I just felt like something was missing. And I would say about 8 months in, I rediscovered how much better I feel when I would go outside and go for walks versus doing cardio in a gym or in a treadmill, right? And it sounds obvious, but when you're not doing it or when you're not in the habit of it, you just don't really think about it. You don't really think about going outside. It's just like that extra thing that you have to do on top of your existing routines. But I hope by the end of this podcast that you feel a little bit more motivated to go out and get in the trees and get some sunshine and some fresh air because it really changed the entire course of my life, if I'm being honest with you, because it was such a significant shift from when I was not going outside for walks to when that was something I prioritized. So, anyway, back in time, it was the spring has sprung, and I actually clearly remember it. It was before work. I decided to leave early and hit this trail that was nearby my job. And the birds had returned and they were just chirping away. It was like early morning, sun was kind of just up. It was foggy, misty, still no leaves on the trees yet, just those little green buds. And after having not lived in a place with seasons to coming back home where I was born originally to where the seasonal change came about, like I did not realize how in the depths I would go in the winter and then like readjusting to that spring energy of new life. And going for this walk, it was like this euphoric feeling of, oh my God, this is what my soul has been missing. And what I've been craving is to hear these natural sounds and the wind and the birds and the trees and feeling the fresh air. And I can't even explain it to you, but I know that you know what I mean. It just takes over your whole body of like, yes. And we are so inundated with these artificial sounds on our phones and TVs and even listening to this podcast, right? It's all through technology. So just giving yourself a chance to hear the natural sounds and be in the fresh air, it is just so healing and so magic. So since then, I was like, I need to get out here every day, even if it's 10 minutes. I just need to get into the woods, away from the cars, away from the city roads, and in nature at least once a day. And I would say without even really trying hard now, it's become just a part of my daily routine. It's not something that I'm like, oh, I need to go out for my walk. It's just like my body will automatically be like, this is enough computer work. I need to go outside and go for a walk. So pretty much every day is something that I do. And it has so much increased my quality of life and Let's talk about why and how it can help you too. So there's the obvious reasons, right? We're getting exercise, we're moving our legs, we are, burning calories, and all this, right? But a few other practical benefits of going for a walk is number one, especially if you do it after you eat food, it actually aids in digestion. I know that we laugh, my friends and I, we say we're going for our fart walks like after we eat. It just helps kind of move everything along and help with digestion. It can be really great after dinner, depending on the temperatures and what time of year. But honestly, if this is something that you're trying to add into your routine, don't even mind the time, just get out whenever you can. But one of the really cool benefits that is practical and scientifically proven is that when you go for a walk and you have that feeling of left, right with your feet, or your arms are swinging in that rhythmic modality, that rhythmic melody of your body, of the way that you walk, of the way that you move through space, you actually balance the right and the left hemispheres of your brain. So if you're a lot in the right brain, where you're kind of like in that dreamy, creative, state, that like expansive feeling, but you're struggling to find the practical details, or you're more in the left brain where it's like very structured and tangible and practical, but you're having difficulty connecting to that bigger picture, going for a walk will actually help you balance those two things, because your body is rhythmically moving in space. And I guess, going through a little bit of a metaphysical tangent, the work of Donna Eden and Lauren Walker, energy medicine or energy medicine yoga, specifically through Lauren Walker, our energy through our body loves to move in diagonal. So it's like crisscrossing up and down our body. And she states that when we get stuck, or we're too stagnant, or we have an illness or an energetic blockage in our body, our energy moves up and down in columns. So, to actually start to get it flowing the way that it wants to for optimal health and well being, going for a walk will help you with that cross body energy pattern. Or even if you want to, just while you're sitting, like literally tap your hand, your opposite hand to your opposite knee, and kind of march in place, or just swing your arms like that. That will help get your energy flowing in the most optimal way. I'll link her work down below because she explains it way nicer than I do here. But it's really fascinating. And it's something that, especially if you're really connected with your body and your energy and you're really paying attention, you can feel almost an immediate shift if you do that little practice or that exercise. Now, another reason to go outside in nature and walk and be there is because you're connecting with the elements. So this goes off into more of that energetic quality of it, but you're feeling the air and the wind. Breathe. You're feeling the air and the wind on your skin, also connecting you with your breath, right? You're connecting with that big energy that just sweeps the entire planet. I mean, how powerful is that? I heard this, I think it was from an Instagram post about, like, if you feel bummed out about winter, which I totally do, and especially did when I first moved back and felt like I still couldn't go outside. It was posted by a Native American, and what they said was that in their tribe, when cold air hits your head specifically, it's cleansing your mind of anxious or racing thoughts, because that cold air is just so piercing, and it sweeps those thoughts or that negative energy away with the wind. And I'm so grateful to whoever posted that, because on those especially cold days, being able to utilize something like that within nature to help clear my mind has been really powerful. So if you give that a try, let me know how that goes this winter. But you're also connecting with fire, right? With the sun. Feeling the sun on your skin, you're getting that vitamin D, you're absorbing the nutrients from the sun, you're absorbing that masculine power, the yang energy from the sun into your body. You want to take action? Walking in the sun, you are absorbing the motivation and that fire from the sun rays hitting your body, being absorbed, being integrated. It's like literally powering you up for whatever it is that you are thinking about wanting to do, or just even to enhance your being without trying to get anywhere else, right? If you're lucky enough to live by water, somewhere where you can sit by a river or a stream or a lake or an ocean, hearing the water, seeing the water, just observing how the water flows is literally signaling to your body creative flow. It is signaling to your body the way that water just finds a way to go where in the direction that it wants to move towards what it wants to around any obstacles, washing away, or even just hearing it, being around it. And the coolest thing about when you surround yourself with these elements, you're just absorbing the wisdom, if you will, that they provide without even having to sit and think about it. I mean, how much more inspiring does this sound than walking on a treadmill? Am I right? Obviously, do what you need to do if that's what you have access to and time and all this. But if you can get outside, go outside. And finally, the earth, right? You're connecting with earth. And when I think about the earth element, I think of material abundance, I think of abundance of resources. And it's like, I heard this from Molly McCord. I took her one time. It was her Finding Abundance in Your Business course. And she was like, if you want to connect with the energy of abundance, go outside and just see how many leaves there are, how many trees, how many branches, how many specks of soil, how much water, like all the abundance of even the air molecules. There's an infinite amount of air that you can breathe into your lungs, and just like observe how abundant nature is and how we live in an abundant world. And by going outside, being in the earth, connecting with the earth element, you're subconsciously reprogramming yourself to be like, oh yeah, we do live in an abundant universe. I don't need to buy into like XYZ advertising and scarcity and all these like man-made created things like credit. Obviously I'm a practical person too. Like we need these things in the world, and I love money and I love material things, but I think that balancing out your day with a little bit of dose of nature and connecting with that natural world abundance helps you recognize within you like, oh yeah, I'm fucking powerful and I have access to infinitely everything I need from the planet that I was already born on. You know what I mean? So going outside, being in nature, walking, and whether you're listening to music or a podcast or talking with a friend, or best yet, with somebody that you love, spending quality time, going outside for your walk, it just kind of combines all these things that you know that are good for you, that you know benefit you in one. So it's a great way to like overlap things. And I just had this conversation with one of my clients actually who wrote to me. She was like, I love when you post Instagram stories outside because it reminds me that I deserve to take these breaks and go outside too. And I was like, fuck yeah. Yes, you do. And everybody around you, if you take that time to go outside and get that little reset, refresh, absorb those negative ions from the earth that help cleanse your body, like your actual physical body, everybody around you is going to benefit from that too. And sometimes these daily walks, they turn into like productive pleasures. Like I listen to a podcast that I want to listen to, or a lecture if I'm studying an online course, or maybe I'll catch up with a friend, call a friend, or, a lot of times that's when I'll get my ideas for podcasts or for, posting up a story or something like that. It just helps. I feel like it just sends me back to like really who I am and helps me clear all these thoughts. And it's probably because all these things that we talked about, and there's probably even benefits greater beyond that we can even comprehend, that we are just absorbing naturally by being outside. So I'd love to know, like, what comes to your mind when you think about walking outside? Is it something that you already do? What's your reason for going out for your hot girl walk or your hot guy walk or whatever walk you want to call it? How often do you get out there? And is it something that you like a little more of? Which reason from this podcast really stuck out to you and is inspiring you to go take action, put down your work and go out for a little walk break? Let me know. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear how it landed, and I'd love to hear your ideas too. And a very quick note on overthinking and energy clearing, as we're already on the topic. I just released the latest practice of, it's called the Daily Dose for Overthinkers, a 5-minute energy clearing practice. Now, it's a guided practice. If you've done one of these with me before, it's similar, but it's more specific to actually clearing your energy field and protecting it, so you don't have to absorb all the negative bullshit as much that's going on in the world and upcoming elections and all these things. Yeah, I know we need it now. That's why I made it now. So if you want it, go ahead and check the links in this podcast episode where you can download it for free. I want to get this out in the hands of as many people as possible. So share it with your friends, share it with anybody, and let me know how it goes. Again, my name is Jeannie. Thanks so much for listening. And you can learn more about me and my offerings over on bodyandsoul.online. That's spelled SOL, just like the podcast. And I'll see you next week. Thanks for being here.